My name is Stormy, and I am a Streamaholic.
Hello, I am Straightjacket Jim, and I am also a Streamaholic.
And I'm the Warship, and guess what? I'm a Streamaholic, and welcome to Streamaholics.
Yes, that's right. Welcome to Streamaholics. We're back again, and I don't know if anybody noticed, but I made a little boo-boo with the overlay there.
What'd you do?
Oh, well, because I was putting your name in Stormy, I put it on top of where the intro was, so...
Shocking.
I know.
Unacceptable.
From an IT guy and everything. I don't know. How do I do this? How do I tech?
Hello. Hey, so Stormy, before we start, because, I'm nice, courteous, all that kind of stuff, but there might be some people who don't know who you are. So why don't we just take a few seconds there, and why don't you tell us about yourself, what you do?
Well, I am a streamer and content creator from Western Australia. I've only been streaming really for, I want to say about 2 years, but after working retail a lot in those 2 years, I've decided to take a step back this year and really focus on my Twitch streaming and my content creating on my other platforms as well. So I do a little bit of cosplay and stuff sometimes, but it's mainly stuff on the gaming and pop culture scene. So that's where I am, and yeah, I'm really excited to be here. So thanks for having me, you guys.
No, fine, absolutely fine. We're excited to hear because we've got a lot to talk about, and a lot of stuff that you, and it turns out me also, I have experience with. So we'll get to that shortly. But essentially, guys, today the theme of the podcast, the conversation point of the podcast, is really based around affiliate deals. So when you're a streamer, you get offered a lot of these things, or you might even try to source some yourself because you really like that flavored energy drink that comes in a tub. But you might not, you might not want to pay for it, I guess, anymore. So a lot of people they do look into the idea of doing these affiliate deals. I want to be able to talk about the pros and the cons here today, and especially I want to talk in relation to the artisan builds issue that's been going on. So I know you've got a lot of experience with that there, Stormy. So maybe you'd like to give us a little bit of an overview of what happened.
Sure. So what happened on, it would have been like very early Tuesday morning for us.
It was a very Tuesday sort of a day, yes.
A very Tuesday.
Yes, I remember it distinctly, yeah.
What had happened was I had seen blow up on my feed all these tweets related to artisan builds. They were hosting a giveaway for their ambassadors, I guess they were calling them, to win a PC, which is exciting. I think anyone could look forward to winning a free PC. A free PC for budding streamers or established streamers is such an exciting opportunity. And on their Twitch channels, they were live streaming this giveaway that they were doing, and people would be randomly picked. And that was kind of it. They basically said all you had to do was really be an ambassador for the brand already, and you were in the running to win this prize. What had happened on not one, not two, but 3 occasions was streamers that were picked from the ambassador program to win a PC, but then were denied their prize. So the rules had all of a sudden changed. The prize was denied because of their reach, their established, I guess, like selves on Twitch, and I guess like their metrics, which in one thing is awful. Like you've just gone and changed what you said you were going to give to your loyal ambassadors because they don't meet your criteria. It's not even just about that, but the fact that their analytics and their metrics are read out on stream in front of everybody else as well, that was the other kind of kick to that blow. In addition to that, the gentleman, I think I've just blocked him out because he's just made me so cross. the guy who owns it, who I believe his first name's Noah. I'm not even going to give him the courtesy of just saying his full name.
Noah Friends, am I right?
Oh no, my camera's frozen. Just give me a second.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I love that for me. So what had happened was, while he was saying, hey, and this is a name we're probably going to hear quite a bit, Kia Pia has been drawn out of this giveaway to win a PC. His attitude when speaking about his ambassadors, disgusting. He was reading out these metrics, and I believe it was for Kia Pia's results that he was looking at, if you want to call it that. When he found out that she had not received any click on her ambassador link, he fist bumped into the air, like looking excited, because he knows that he's not going to give this PC to this person. And there were multiple things he did during that stream that was just atrocious. So that was the drama that unfolded on Tuesday. So I don't know if we want to unwrap that first before we delve deeper in. Worship Jim, like, did you guys hear much about this on Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning when you woke up, or?
I did, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't know much about what was going on, and like a couple of the videos flashed up on my feed, and I sort of half watched it and I went, I've got no idea what this guy's doing, and just sort of brushed over it. But then it just kept blowing up and up and up, and it's just like, the more I read into it, the more disgusted I was with how this went. Like, these are your brand ambassadors. These are the people that you want to say how good your product is. And I don't care what it is. If it's a chocolate, if it's a car, if it's a piece of tech, I want to at least use it for a little bit. Even if I have to give it back, I need to be able to use it to say that, yes, this is a good product. You know, well, depends, I guess. I do have a figure I can be bought, and yes, it's a couple of million for anybody that would like to buy me. But yeah, no, seriously though, it's a disgusting thing that they would even do that. Not only do that, but do it live on a stream and be so cavalier about it.
No, absolutely. But quick question there: how much for cash though, Jim? You know, I know $1 million is a lot, but what about cash?
Cash. Well, it depends what you want me to do. You know, I'll shill for anything for the right price, you know.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so essentially, like, to give my take on it, I didn't realize until reading the article. I'm looking right now, Artisan Builds here. I've actually had an email from them myself. I'm just looking to see if I can physically find it. Yeah, there you go. It's received a direct message on Twitter. A whole bunch of them. Now, when this was launched, I would have been, where was this? 7th of the 1st, 2021. Sorry, 1st of the 7th. So it was, I reckon I'd probably been streaming for about 6 months, which means that my follower count would have been around about 1,200, right? So not a big follower account at that point. And at that point, I got the exact same message, essentially. Hello, I'm Winteria from Twitch and social engagement. Blah, 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 blah. Our PC builds really like your channel. The thing is, I feel like the deals piss me off. Because like whenever you get them as a streamer, you get this like lure that you're getting something good, you know, that finally, you know, after the bit of the struggle that you've had, all of a sudden, a company's like, bro, you're doing a good job. Not just people, because, you know, you love people to death. Audio listeners love you to death. We don't have an audio platform yet. I'm just saying that because it's a reference to one of my favorite podcasts. But essentially, when you first get these things, it's like people, yes, you love your people. They support you. They, you know, they give you bits, they give you subs, whatever it may be. They donate to you. They send you presents. All this amazing, incredible stuff, right? And you love them to absolute death for it. But then all of a sudden, the company shows up, and the company's like, hey, we'll watch you. We like what you do. We're really, really keen, you know, to work together. Here's what we propose. And so in your brain, you're like, hell yeah, you know, I'm getting whatever it may be, you know, I'm getting some gamer glasses or the goo, the gamer goo, whatever, you know, a bunch of different things you think that you're actually going to get because, you know, you're working with a company who values you and they're invested in you. And then, you know, the next conversation is like, so we'll give you 10% off. So if you sell 1,000 of these things, you may get a payout from us. And those situations, they purely, wholly, and solely only work for the company that's involved. There is no world in which it helps me as a streamer. There's no world in which it helps you as a streamer, or even you as an audience member, because it's honestly, it's just them, all of us, so that they get something out of it. Like, you know, they're getting free advertising because we're all too stupid, and our hearts are full of this like possibility that we're going to get something out of it, that at the end of the day we do it, and then they just sit there and they watch as the money comes in, and meanwhile we're sitting here and we are actually scamming our own audience just because we want some minor pat on the head about it. And to me, that's not right. You know, like, we deserve more than that personally. Because we're selling the brand.
Yeah, it's more predatory marketing for me from some of these companies, because
absolutely,
like, we're not, like, most of us when we start off streaming, we're not business people. We're not, like, I'm probably a bit luckier than most. Yeah, my stream's small. When I do my own streams on my own channels, it's, you know, maybe a handful of people at best watching me, but that's not why I do it. I do it because I like playing games and hanging out with people and having a chat. But I'm a bit more worldly as well, and I've actually, let me rephrase it. I'm a cynic when it comes to those sorts of things. Like, if someone comes to you offering you free stuff, you go, "What's the catch? What are you doing?" And you got to, like, I always tend to look at things with a fine-tooth comb, and it's when you're, but I can see how people would get drawn in by the streamers in particular would get drawn in by it, because if you're just that little person that's streaming and you're going, oh, a company wants to partner with me, this might be a way to you know, make some money or do something like that, and you don't know any better. You just think, oh, this is great. This is a big company that wants to do business with me.
Yeah, I think going off what both of you said as well, like, especially like my following at the moment is small but growing, and I'm very lucky and privileged to have the community and the support that I have at the moment. And this year, like I mentioned to you guys just before we started, like, this is the year that I've decided I want to take things to the next level and, you know, take it more seriously, invest more time into my brand and into my work. And I was also approached by them last year, basically saying the same kind of thing, like, tell your audience to come our way, become an ambassador for us. This is the XYZ we could offer you. But it's like what Jim said, it's very for, I guess, small streamers or streamers looking to make their mark, when you have that company or brand or a brand come to you, it's very easy to get wrapped up into the excitement of it. And I think one of the things that I'm really, really glad that I did was basically say, hey, look, I've actually never purchased from you guys. I've not been a customer with you. I've never used your products. I've never used your services. I don't feel comfortable working with you unless, we can arrange, some kind of mutual beneficial, relationship.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, like, we're not in a position to give you anything at this time, but here's all our really, really good reviews. And I was like, that's not going to cut it for me. And I'm like, regardless of the fact of all the drama that's happened earlier in the week, I'm still standing by the fact that I did that. And I think a lot of other smaller streamers, or even established streamers, it could be very exciting and to get whisked up in the excitement of all of it. But I'm really glad that I stood my ground with that. And then now at the moment, since the events of Tuesday, Wednesday morning, however you want to look at it, it's it's turned into something incredibly big. The company was associated with a lot of big streamers, a lot of well-known names. One of mine that I knew was Pastilli, and there were, over the last few days, there's been a lot of streamers and people who have worked with them, I had their brand work with them, just be like, nah, not after the way you treated these people, which I absolutely applaud. And I think, and this is what I talked about on Wednesday night as well, I think the streaming community, while not always perfect, this is one good example of them banding together and being like, yep, we are not accepting this behavior, and the attitudes and the actions of this company, and they have rallied behind those who should have won those prizes that night.
Yeah.
Well, just look at it. Yeah. Kia Pia went from like, was it a couple of thousand Twitter followers? Now she's got 20,000. You know.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like, so the recent I guess effect that's had on Kia Pia, which I said we were using as an example of one of those should have been winners of this giveaway. They are now, as of today, they've have found a partner in Cooler Master for the next 12 months, which is incredible. I also want to point out as well, after this whole drama exploded, I think AB, if we just want to shorten it to that, did be like, oh, yeah, we'll give you a free PC. And she was like, nah. She was like, thank you, but no thank you. And I really admire that too. Like, again, she's standing her ground. And she's also mentioned the two other streamers who were also robbed of their due prizes as well. So I think, this is a very good showing of like a strong, supportive, I guess, community in this gaming industry that we're in. Not just other fellow streamers, but also brands as well.
Yeah, and look, honestly, when it comes down to it, like I'm very, very happy that's the way it went, because look, maybe I don't get a PC, but give it to the people who have also suffered, you know, like if at the end of the result that's what happens, and it ends up being that, you know, the central sort of point, you know, she continues to stand her ground, doesn't have to worry about it. Like, he's like, no, I'm not going to take a free PC from you. But look at all these other people who have suffered for it at this point already. You know, maybe that will help those people too. If it does, great. If it doesn't, also, you know, we'll have learnt a lesson. We'll have seen sort of what they do as far as the company goes, and then people just won't associate with them anyway. But just looking at it, like, I've been going through the messages as we've been talking, and some of this stuff. So for an affiliate deal, right? And they're calling it a partnership as well. So they're using words that are not for them. That's the hard part for me, because it's like, if you're partnered with a brand, that's different than having an affiliate deal with them. You are automatically put on another level as far as sort of how you feel goes. But they're calling this an ambassador program, they're calling it an affiliate deal, and they're calling it a partnership, all in the same message. But the thing that they sent me when I cracked the shits at them, because I'm like, no, what you're offering me is not it. What else are you offering? They said, oh yeah, so on top of all of this stuff, which was nothing, it was like a free gift card of money that was based on if anyone got referrals, and it was like, oh, the more referrals you get, the more money you might get in that gift card. But it was like, so if I buy a PC between $0 and $1,500, I get $100 off. 2,000 to 3,000, I get $125 off. So it's $25 difference for $1,000 difference in PC. All the way up to $8,000 and above, you get $500 off the PC. Now, I could walk into any Harvey Norman in the entirety of Australia and say, I would like this PC for $8,000 you're selling on the floor. I would like it for $6,000. And I guarantee you, I could leave the store with it for $5,000. Like, I'm not going to be spending $8,000 from a company that I don't even know, who cold canvassed me on the internet when I only had 1,200 people like following the stream, and, you know, give them $7,500 for the privilege to be an affiliate. for the privilege to be allowed to say that I am an ambassador for them. Like, that's literally all you're offering me, is the chance to maybe be put in a sentence somewhere. But on top of that, to get dogged by the owner of the company on a stream while they're building the PC because I don't have enough followers to begin with. That's just so ridiculous, so beyond okay.
You know what shits me the most hearing about all that is that they're not offering you money; they're offering you gift cards. Yeah. So it's not, while it's costing them in reduced intake, it's not actually costing them.
It's costing nothing.
Yeah, that's right. It's a nothing thing that they can give out and say, sell my $1,000 computer and get $100 off. They go and on computer builds that cost $3, $4, $5 grand, $100 is nothing. Yeah. And like you say, anybody, like if you walk into a JB Hi-Fi and you're looking at a big ticket item, you say, like, it took me a while to get a hang of this because to me the price is the price, and I'll walk in and go, all right, that's what I want. I've done some research. That's about right for price. Cool. I'll have that. Thanks. But just asking the question, is that the best price you can do on big ticket items? Yeah. You'll get some money taken off.
It's because as someone who used to work in that sector of retail in the Harvey Norman, my family pretty much runs the whole place in one way or another. As someone who used to work really intimately in that sector, like, if you take a look at the numbers right now for PCs, right, the most expensive thing will be the graphics card, right? And that'll probably be like, I guess at cost price, it might go down to about $2,000. The rest of the PC you might be able to put together for couple of $100, realistically speaking, if you're getting cost price on everything. And if they're selling it for $8,000 and the best they can do is give you $500 off as a partnered streamer or a partnered content creator, that's red flags straight up the wazoo. Yep.
So just speaking on the red flags, so this question I'll direct towards Stormy here. When you got that email, was there anything in there that stood out to say this is a shit deal, or like, because Chippy's saying that he read through and saw the affiliate deals that were actually happening, or did you just stop at I don't know this product, so I don't want to represent it?
I guess there was a couple of things involved because one, they didn't email me, they direct messaged me on Twitter. And it was very interesting, and I can see if this was aimed at perhaps a more like less experienced streamer and stuff, I can see how this could also excite them too, because they made a point of saying, hey, we stopped by and looked in your stream and saw you were playing XYZ. Well, I was playing Halo Infinite. And, to anyone else would be like, oh my God, they watch my stream, blah, blah, blah. Very, very exciting.
Be a bit embarrassing if they weren't actually playing that game.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh wow, okay, they actually they've seen me, and then they start talking about their ambassadorship, and I mean, I didn't really look too much at what they were offering. I think basically what Shippy said covered it, but they were saying we could do XYZ. And basically what I said to them, and I'll just paraphrase a little here because I obviously was being very, very professional. I was saying, hey, thank you for reaching out. Thank you for, approaching me about this, but I haven't been a customer of yours before. I haven't used your services, so I don't feel being an ambassador at this stage. If we can collaborate on something together, so that was me kind of insinuating, like, if there's something we could do that can mutually benefit, like, both of us, yeah, absolutely. Let's chat some more. And then they were like, no, like, here's all our reviews. We have 100+ partners, which now, frankly, means F all. Like they've all gone and cut ties.
If you need that many partners for a partnership program, that's a bit telling to me.
It's so hard as well because. I was making those connections with, oh my gosh, some of these big streamers that I know and I like to watch are partnered with them. So those were reinforcing those ideas of, oh yeah, they're reputable group. But I think it was just more of a case of like sticking by my guns and being like, yeah, nah, this isn't gonna cut it. And I know this is, I don't know if I've surprised myself in saying that so quickly early on, but I know that I am now proud of myself for doing that because, I mean, obviously, Shippy's the most. Oh god, it's just frozen attractive.
What a face this time!
Oh yeah, that's how I feel
Fantastic.
about AB. You know, Shippy's probably the most experienced one in terms of working with brands and stuff, which is why I'm looking forward to hearing you chat about, you know, what your expectations are and what, you know, what things, you know, budding content creators, streamers should be looking out for because, you know, it could have been anyone. Like it could have been anyone that I would have known that might have been approached by them. And, you know, I was trying to have a look as well on Twitter because I was seeing that some people who were ambassadors for them were having issues with their PC and like had trouble with like support and reaching out and getting support for that. On top of this, I feel like I have to mention as well, and this is, I'm just going to find the link because there were more interesting things that came to light. This is from the Dexerto Twitter page, saying there's a new development in the saga as YouTuber OnePegMG uncovered that AB have had their business license suspended for tax evasion.
Yep.
So it just keeps getting better and better for them. And there's just so many things that have happened actually in the last couple of days. Like not even that, like we haven't even spoken about the poor, awful effort that was made in the form of something resembling an apology done by Noah, which was just so like not genuine, unprofessional, and just it was, that's the last thing they tweeted, I think, was that apology. Because they're probably absolutely shaking in their boots now that all these big names that were associated with them, they're effectively gone.
They're probably not a company anymore.
I'm interested to see where it all develops a bit further from there. So yeah, very, very interesting to see which direction this goes. I was going to say as well, I think it's Bestia in the chat was saying that J2 Cents kicked up a gear, like a PC, and sent Kiyopi a computer for free. And then they also mentioned the tax evasion news that came out just recently as well. So yeah, it's interesting to see how it's all kind of unfolded from this one seemingly small thing.
Doesn't take much, man. Don't underestimate U.S. tax laws, man. They couldn't get Al Capone for running freaking bootleg liquor. They got him for tax evasion. That's what he went to jail for in the end, because he wasn't paying his taxes on his bootleg liquor. Yeah.
But honestly, sorry.
So no, I was just going to say so with all the stuff that's come out from here and really how crap of a deal was being offered by this company, what would you look for, Shippy, in a good deal for an affiliate or a partnership? Or would you try and skip affiliate deals altogether and go for a partnership?
Bring it, make it a thing. Come on.
Here we go. Yep.
All right.
Let's go.
All right. Heads, listen. Don't ever take an affiliate deal. And look, you know, it might sound like a dickhead thing to say, but it's an important message. And I know I censored the word dickhead before, and I just didn't censor it twice now, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll blame the people on the back end who are producing the episode right now, because we definitely have those today. But yeah, no, essentially, my perspective here. Right, a little bit warm right now. My perspective on affiliate deals is that they're garbage, because as I said before, they only benefit the company that you're working for. There are thousands upon thousands. You can go to that Fairly Odd Streamers website that I know you've probably looked at if you've ever looked for sponsorship deals in your life ever, and you'll find a list of affiliate deals. You'll find a list of sponsorship deals, and most of the time they say, "Oh, this one is an affiliate offer." Ignore them. Don't touch them unless you really love the brand and it's something you are passionate, and I mean like willing to sacrifice your own money and self-worth for. Don't do it, because at the end of the day, that's all you'll be doing. Because unless you are some kind of magician who can sell hundreds of products whilst being a middling to low-level streamer, unless you have some kind of magic, like you're like doing Girl Scout cookies, except for game parts or PCs, unless you're doing something crazy like that, it's just not worth it, because you will be an affiliate to that company forever. Like there's no two ways about that. You will be considered this level because you approach them, for one, most of the time, right? You approach them. You're the one who touched base and was like, hey, I really like your product. So all of a sudden, straight off the bat, they have the high ground, Anakin. You can't do anything about that. You're not gonna beat them because they have the superiority over you. Now, what that will mean is that no matter how good you do, unless you do gangbusters good, you will just be like, oh yeah, thank you, good job. Here's your free tub of G Fuel, whatever it may be, whatever the thing you want is. Here's your free thing for the month. Here's your pittance. Now go. Meanwhile, they may have made like 10 grand off of you. Especially if you're doing all right. Not amazingly, they may have made like 1 grand off you. They may have made $100, and that's double the profit straight off the bat for them because they've paid that tub twice, as an example. Like it's not in your best interest to promote an affiliate deal at all. I only approach through sponsorship, and whether it is a company who approaches me, like for example, the Udi approached me, as I know they approached most streamers about 6 months ago, and started this like real big boon towards getting their product everywhere. I've had 3 deals with them since then. That was a really big confidence booster for a lot of people, myself included. It was one of my first YouTube videos talking about that deal and putting over how much it meant to me. And since then, I've had a lot more of those deals too. A lot of them through a company that I love called GGWP, who work to promote and help streamers grow. That is definitely a place I recommend for practically everybody. But if you're sourcing your own sponsorships, one thing that I definitely recommend is Media Kits. It is a free service online that allows you to create a media kit that will pull your analytics from the various social media platforms. So whether you have, and they're live and up to date as well. So if you have, you have a Twitter, you have your Instagram, you have your TikTok, you have your Facebook gaming, your Twitch, your YouTube, all of these things, they all integrate in there and they live update for you. Sometimes you need to log out and log in again, but they have an amazing customer service team as well. When I started to promote them on my TikTok, they came to my stream and gifted 10 subs, just randomly, just because I was doing that for them. To me, even if I never became a partner with them, which I'm not, but even if I never did, what that tells me is that they give a shit about me as a streamer. They care about me as a content creator and they want me to grow. Automatically, that puts me in there. I want to work with them. I want them to see me and notice me, more, because I don't want them to just keep giving me subs, but I want to know that I already feel like they have my back, even without being partnered or whatever the deal is. And that is, for me, the most important thing. If you are a streamer who, I recently got one through a company called OG Nerd, and they are they're a clothing line from Melbourne. They're really, really, really good. I've had quite a good relationship with them early on, and they've actually started kind of giving me a bit of a sponsored package every month of money and items and things like that. And what that allows me to do is it gives me more confidence because they believe in me enough to pay, or they believe in me enough to give me things. And again, this is not something that I really went back and forth with. We kind of just mutually ended up in the same space together. So I would really suggest that if you are looking for any form of sponsorship deal, don't go in there with the mindset of taking just what you think is the bare minimum. Shoot much higher. Shoot as high as you can. Like say, all right, let's have a look at it. NordVPN pays Keemstar $30,000 a month to promote NordVPN. Okay, cool. I want 1,000, and then they say no, and you say, okay, cool. Well, then what? What do we work with? That's legitimately what I said. I am sponsored through Nord as well, and that is how I approached the conversation. I said to them, "This is how much one of your higher end people gets. I want, nothing in compared to that, but I want $1,000. Give me $1,000 and I'll do it. And they came back and they said, well, no, not that, but how about this number? And it was better. It would have been better than nothing, which was the original kind of offer. The original offer was more of an affiliate deal where, you know, the more people that sign up to NordVPN via my link, then I get things from. But because I pushed it, I got more from it.
So to me, that's like NordVPN being the subscription service. That as an affiliate deal to me is better than selling PCs, because you're more likely to do something like most people that know a bit about IT want a VPN. So that you can sell easier, especially when it's $20 a month. Yeah,
it's very cheap, and it's even cheaper with the code. Like,
that's it. So I think like, I know you're totally against affiliate deals, but I think depending on the company, and like, this is where the devil is in the details. So if you get a deal and you go, well, all right, well, they're selling PCs to start with, so that's your viewers have got to put out, you know, $2, $3, $4 for it. They're only giving you $100 gift card for selling that. I go, I'm good, thanks. But if you know, somebody else comes here, we've got this subscription service. It costs $20 a month normally. You can get 10% of whatever your affiliate link gets in cash. Like, to me, that's a good deal. Like, and I wouldn't mind taking something like that. But going a step back as well, a bit further, because we've been throwing words around like partnership and affiliate and sponsorship. I lost that other word for a second because I English good people. So what is the difference between an affiliate and a affiliate deal and a sponsorship for you?
Okay, so for me, the difference between an affiliate and sponsorship deal, actually, I do want to cover that question as well, if I can, in a moment. That's just popped up in the chat. But as far as a affiliate versus a sponsorship deal is, affiliate deal is typically a code with a promise, right? So it's a code with a promise of, okay, so once you fulfill X, then you will get Y. And now whether that Y is a pathway to a further deal with them, or whether that Y is simply cheaper of the item that you're selling to your community, it's important to really, really nut those details out. But a sponsorship is kind of what I've been talking about this whole time, as far as the feeling of investment that you get back. So a sponsor will say, okay, so here's a brand deal for you. What we're going to do, Jim, is I'm going to give you $500 every month in your account, cash money, done. All you need to do is have an end card set up for my company, have a mid-roll reel somewhere within the podcast that explains who we are, what we do. We can do a funny thing together. We'll, hey, do you like this thing? I love that thing. Like a funny, quirky ad. And then, if you're a streamer, please put some stuff in your About Me section. Advertising, minimum 5 to 10 advertising posts a month, and that's kind of all I want from you. I don't necessarily need people to be buying my product. What I want them to know that they are intrinsically linked to you as a person, so that as you grow and you all of a sudden are a streamer with 1 million people on the channel here, and you have streams with 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 20,000 people watching, all of a sudden, Shippy's amazing tomato sauce is synonymously linked directly to you forever. Anytime anyone thinks about your stream, they think about the sauce, and then the sauce is gangbusters. It sells.
And thank you, Master Foods. I'm assuming our check's in the mail.
Oh no, I put it backwards. So you just see the really. Damn. Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, so that is honestly my opinion on the difference there. It's them investing in you physically, whether it's with an item or a financial thing every month. And it is also a promise, but it's almost the opposite. It's a promise that you give rather than a promise that they give. So
it's sort
you're
of
on the front foot.
Sort of sounding a bit like an affiliate deal is almost like a set and forget thing where you put the link somewhere and people might click on it and go. But a sponsorship deal is like a limited time event that it's almost a custom negotiation, like saying this is what I can do, and the sponsor party coming back and going, all right, well, this is what we'd like, and that sort of thing. So it's not sponsorships are a bit more work, but ultimately it sounds like they're a lot more worth to people.
Well, see, the thing is that I don't want to gouge my community, all right? I simply don't. And my community are amazing, and they keep a roof over my family's head. They keep food in our mouths. We couldn't survive without their generosity. And when we have a bad month, it's hard. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I've taken a fair bit of the week off, because we're not having a great kind of time at the moment. But when if we live and die by their generosity at this point, if you can alleviate that, and say, okay, so I'm getting $2,000 a month from a couple of different brand deals. If Joe Blow can't sub this month, I don't have to worry about who's eating dinner. It gives you a bit of a stress relief from it, especially if you're a full-time streamer, like myself, where you actually depend on that stuff to survive. So having a brand deal aside, or a few brand deals aside, that allow you to breathe, it makes the biggest difference in the world. And then you can focus on content creation. You can focus on sleeping, which is something that I don't do because I am forever stressed about everything. So, the ultimate goal is to get to a point where I can sleep well at night knowing that I've done my editing for the day, I've done my graphics for the day. Hell, if I was getting paid a couple of grand a month before subs, I'd pay an editor good money so that I never had to touch Premiere or After Effects again in my life.
Oh my God. Just video editing, man, the bane of my existence. Like, I was trying to put out videos 3 days a week on my channel, and I just no. If I could pay somebody to do that, I would do it. But Stormy, one thing I wanted to ask you, you mentioned you got in with Udi end of last year. So
yeah.
What sort of deals were they offering? Is that something that you're allowed to talk about? Or
I probably won't disclose anything to the extreme, but yeah. I mean, I guess something that's important, and this probably could be a whole other podcast in itself, is if you are offered those opportunities, it's very important that you disclose when they are sponsored, collaborated, gifted deals too. That is extremely, I'm sure Shippy's nodding his head right now. Yeah. It's so important. It's so important to be extremely transparent and explicit about the fact that the content you're putting out is a gift, a collaboration of, whatever the case is, to let your audience know, look, I am benefiting from promoting this product to you. But I think what I wanted to mention as well, kind of bouncing off things that you guys have spoken about, and we briefly touched on Wednesday, is just for creators who do get approached or are looking to approach other brands, is knowing your worth and making sure that things are worth your time. Like, for example, with what I was doing with the Udi, I was happy to edit together like a short, less than a minute video at one point, do up a cute little photo post to put on Instagram, like that for me, versus the benefit that I was getting from the Udi. That worked out well for me. What Shippy was talking about with Nord, saying, hey, I'm like, you're offering me this, but I think this is better, and finding that being able to have those conversations candidly, I think is super, super important. Again, I am a small streamer, so I don't have as much experience as those who have been approached by different brands. But I think it is important to evaluate that the time that you put into your work, whether it is worth, what you are getting out of it as well. Like, if someone asks me, hey, I'd love you to do I don't know, half an hour video edit with, on this stream, on this game, but what they was offering me versus the time that will go. You guys know as video editors, 5-minute video to edit is not going to take 5 minutes to edit. It's going to take ages. Like I've spent hours sometimes putting together a 20-minute video just because I think as content creators, you want to put out content that meets your expectations and the quality that you wish to put out to your audience. And you need to stand by your skills and like your level of work and say, like, you know, you have to be confident enough to say, hey, this isn't really working for me, but I could offer this. And, you know, again, I think it's just really important to have those conversations. My experience with the Udi, I can say, was very, very positive. And everything that Shippy said about them, like they were great. They were really, really great to work with. And I think if you don't mind me asking, I'd love to ask Shippy a question actually, just in regards to, I guess, if there are creators or streamers like myself. I know you mentioned that you've had a few brands reach out to you. When it comes to you reaching out to other brands, like what do you recommend people, like I know you already spoke about media kits and stuff.
Yeah.
Is there anything anyone should know about, you know, putting themselves forward for, you know, a position in collaboration, partnership with said brand?
Well, you've covered a lot of it. Obviously, the faith in your own ability, selling yourself to the right level that you deserve, they're really, really big parts of it. Be prepared to not hear anything. That's a big thing that people don't often say or take into account, because sometimes you just aren't what they want. Whether they have a very specific idea of their own version, their own KPI, like, you know, there might be specific things and variables that they have to run in order to be able to provide the stuff that they do for their partners. You may just not be part of that list. And, you know, as much as that sucks, it's definitely a reality of the situation. So, like, I've been speaking to a particular company for a while. Well, I've been speaking, they have not. So I have been going back and forth with constant emails and just saying, hey, it's this month. I just, give me the thing, please. Like, because it's I believe in the brand. And, you know, I haven't heard from them yet. And I probably won't hear from them next month either. But, you know, maybe in a year's time, maybe they can message me and then I can tell them to off, because, you know, now look where we are, you know, like this. At the end of the day, like, knowing your worth is the most important thing. But also, if you really, really want something, you got to keep going. You got to keep trying. You have to continue to push forward. Media kits are an invaluable resource. Like, legitimately, I mean this with full sincerity. Aside from the Make Emojis website that let you have animated emotes without having to go into Open After Effects at all, they're probably the most important thing I've put on my TikTok so far. Because, yeah, like, the media kits is just, I can put that on my Twitter banner. I can put that in my email signature. I can put that everywhere. And it will give you an up-to-date, like, information on where I am as a performer, as a content creator, all of that kind of stuff. It shows your latest video performance. It shows everything. And like I said, it's live. It's updated as you go. So, you know, I used to use my own media kit that I'd made myself, and I'd have to go in there every day and kind of a little bit, you know. If I had a good night on stream, I'd have to put an extra X amount of followers in there and then adjust my reach and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm stupid. Like, I used to be a professional wrestler. My brain's no good for make words. So instead, you know, I would much rather rely on a system that I know can do the same thing. But being able to present that to a company and just saying, hey, just in case you think that I'd be a good fit, I think you'd be a good fit for me. But just in case you think that it's reciprocal and you want to maybe just a little bit of these ones, you know, maybe you decide we can go and then a little bit right. And, you know, if you know, maybe that's how it works out, awesome. You know, but if not, like, you've at least tried, you know. And I would also recommend keeping a spreadsheet. This is me being a little bit anal, though. Like, I have a spreadsheet of when I last tried and what was the response and when
really
to try.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I would do that too. You're saying, like, oh, it's a bit, but like,
yeah.
Like, if you're gonna, I think, like, going off that as well. Another thing, and I'm sure you agree with me too, is just like, we were discussing earlier before we went live, I'm wanting to start a reach out to brands myself, which I've never done before. But I'm only going to be reaching out to brands that I have used and have. I think it's very important and to be like loyal to your audience and say, hey, like I actually really do love this brand. Like I'm not gonna like throw my name around at every XYZ, computer brand or whatever. I'm
Mhm.
gonna go with what I'm passionate about. And I think that makes all the difference. And I think it just makes your content so much more genuine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
Oh, actually, to go back to that, because I was going to say it before when you were speaking about it. Whenever I do a promotion or a deal with a company, I've never done one, but if I ever did, I would be like, oh yeah, and today is Raid Shadow Legends. Like, I would make sure to make that as wank as possible. Like I just say, hey, straight off the bat, this is a sponsored stream. It's gonna be full of me shilling. Hey, here's my wallet. Look, it has money because of this brand. Let's roll the footage. Like that would legitimately be the whole thing. Like you have to set that expectation with your community as well, because again, yes, they care about you, they're there because they want to see you, and a lot of them get really weird whenever you start to try to make money, even though you're not asking them to do anything specifically, you're just fulfilling a obligation that you have to the company that you're doing it with, but at the same time they can get a little bit a bit iffy about it. So assuring your community that it's okay, you're not really a shill, you're a little bit of a shill but not really, like it's okay. You should do that, I think.
Yeah. Look, and that's the hard thing as well, because so much of the streamer space is built on the goodwill of people, and but for like, if I could quit and be a full-time streamer, if I was making the sort of money that I was making in my day job, I would quit in a minute, in a heartbeat, and become a full-time streamer. But the minute you sort of try and bring money into the equation, it gets a bit sticky for some viewers, because as streamers we present ourselves as friends to everybody, and sometimes that can get a little bit hairy with certain personalities that are on the internet. And let me bring this back to talking about money, because that's where it was. But yeah, it's hard, because you do want to make money, and for a lot of people it's their livelihoods. But I'm the same. I have trouble discussing about money. Like at the moment, I'm putting a pitch together for Goa, for something, and I'm sitting there going, I have no idea how much this is worth, or what I should be asking about this. It's funny. It's like not just from my point of view, but from the audience's point of view, especially because at its core, streaming is free. Like, it's a free product, and that people can come and watch, and they can sub if they want, or they can not sub. It's just it's a hard thing to talk about, I think, with your community. And I think if you can do that, then you've got a damn good community out there that will support you through that. Even if they might not buy it, but they might share your posts and stuff like that, and do what they can do.
Yeah, I think that's like another thing. Like, if we're gonna talk about collaboration, like if just the word collaboration in general, like I think if you have a supportive community that's got your back when it does come to those moments where you are promoting a product, and you keep that genuineness and stuff, that if they're supportive of you, they're going to understand that you're also doing that to help grow your brand and help further grow the community, and they should be able to acknowledge that without any malice. And I know there will be people out there that might think differently, but I think the ones that are like true in your community, as corny as that may sound, they'll understand it. They should be excited for you. They should be excited for you to embrace new opportunities to, whether it be express yourself or show your love for a product or a brand that you genuinely love. I think that is where it matters. And even if you are, in a position where you are promoting something that maybe you've got like half your heart into, but you want to be able to I don't know, expand yourself, expand your portfolio, whatever the case is. Your community should be like, you know, your number one fans, and you should also be your number one fans of your community as well. Again,
Yeah.
I'm coming up with the most corniest of phrases, and my cam's going to turn off in about 30 seconds. So I'm going to fix that again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like for me, that's always been like really important. I've had the fantastic opportunity, you know, with the Udi, which I know my community was really excited for me because it was like a new opportunity that I'd never had on my stream before. I got to, I was given a copy of Deathloop and the new Just Dance one moment. And, you know, while Just Dance was not a big game for me to stream, as someone who's a fan of the game and a fan of the brand, and the you know, I literally buy it every year to play with my 12-year-old sister.
Yeah.
You know, it was, I don't know, it's exciting to know that I've got those people around to support me, but I think it does come down to making sure that you are true to yourself of what you do, and like what we said, you know your worth, and when you put yourself out there to be with those brands, you have an obligation, I think, as a streamer and as a creator, to be true to your audience as well.
No, I very firmly agree. I'm sorry for kind of like taking a little bit of a lead when it comes to conversation here as well, Jim. If you want to cut in, let me know.
Yeah, no, you know me, I'm not shy about coming forward, mate.
One thing that I will say is that there's a couple of different sort of versions of community members and I guess followers, for lack of a better word. That's what they call them on the platform. So that's kind of what we call them as well, in a little bit of a way, you know. But they're people, you know, they're our friends a lot of the time. But there are a few different ways that things kind of go down with them. On one hand, you have those ones who are like ride or die. They will be at every stream, no matter what time of the day it is. We Carrot, Flavor Fade, I see you there, even though it is stupid o'clock in the morning for both of y'all. Like, you know, there are people who will be there no matter what, and those people will celebrate every single win. They're the ones that retweet my stuff. They're the ones that post in different communities about it, you know, and they're the ones that you absolutely adore. They're the ones that support you, and you couldn't live without them. And then you have other people who it's almost as if they feel like they own you because of who you are on their television, on their computer, on their phone, whatever it is. So they'll get really upset if you promote something that they don't agree with, their personal ethos doesn't agree with. They'll get really upset if they prop you up. Maybe they donate a bit or whatever it might be. They might gift subs a bit or whatever it is, and they all of a sudden they think you're the Little Mermaid, you know, like you're the girl that has everything, but you're not, because the second the new dingle hopper shows up, and all of a sudden now you've got a new fork in your house, and there's another shiny thing. You know, like maybe another person comes in and starts doing the same thing, or maybe like you start promoting a brand that they don't really vibe with. All of a sudden you're a bad guy, and you become like you become the enemy of them. And it's not that at all, because all you've ever done is try to be like you on stream and try to make it so that you can, you know, make something of it. You can grow and survive and all of that kind of stuff. So I find it really interesting, because there are a few different sort of versions of people who watch what we do. Ultimately, you would love to have a group of people who are in that first category, who just support you no matter what it is you do, and they want to see you grow and succeed. And yeah, like it doesn't always end up that way, unfortunately. So you have to take that into account when you are approaching brands, and you shouldn't have to. At the end of the day, no, you shouldn't have to. You should be allowed to say, well, you know, I like this thing. Please just agree with me for a minute. Please just like, you know, understand that I'm not as stupid as I sound on the internet. I'm actually trying to do something to help myself, you know, to help my family, even to help you guys. You know, just understand that I'm not a baby. I don't need you to tell me what is right and wrong. If I think it's right, isn't that enough? You know, those ones, the people who you can say that to without even having to say it, because they already agree with you, that's the kind of people you always want. But you do have to understand is that you'll always have the other kinds as well. So, and now I breathe out because that was a long point.
That's it. You're going a bit flushed in the face, mate. It's
yeah. It's because it's passionate stuff for me, because it's like, it is my job, you know, like it is what I do to support my family, you know. And without it, because of my injury with the wrestling and the broken neck and everything, like a 9-to-5 job doesn't work for me. I can still get around and lift weights and everything, but I can't stand long enough to work a day job. So streaming really was it. And I've been really, really fortunate and really blessed to have an incredible community who have saved my life more times than I can remember. And, you know, at the same time, it's like you grow, you keep going up and doing the thing. And you want to make sure that you're giving them as much back as they give you. Because it's important, you know, it's important to have that synergy with your audience.
Yeah, and that's it. And it's, I think I've made this comment before when the community stuff has come up, because you want to be friends with, or you want to be friendly with your community. You want to be there with them, and you want to talk to them and get to know them. But you do get those community members that think that because, you know, they've dropped a sub on you, given a few gift subs, that you owe them something, and you don't. It's, once again, it's getting back to knowing your worth. And like I tell you, take more than a few gift subs for somebody to own me. You got to take me out, wine me and dine me for a bit first, and, you know.
Yeah, no, and look, you're absolutely correct. Like, I don't know, it's really weird because, like you've said earlier, it is this strange like dichotomy when it comes to like streaming is really a place where it's almost like busking. Like it is almost like busking with a guitar on the side of the street, like, because you don't know if people are going to like you playing Wonderwall again. You know, like you're not sure when you do anything, and song choice becomes super important, you know, like, and obviously I'm not talking about that specifically here, although I do have a guitar right there. I'm more so talking about the fact of like what happens when I log on and I play a game that I'm really keen to play, something I'm super excited for. Maybe it's still like a shit indie game I found that's going to be fun, but stupid fun. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then people are like, hey, there's a stream. And I'm just like, well, okay, I guess I should just go and myself, because you don't want me to do the thing, and I'm just going to be in black and white and sad forever. Because you don't, you know, you do try, you know, you try to put your best foot forward whenever you do anything on stream. You know, like if you're playing a new game for the first time, or even me, you know, if you know me at all, you know, all I've been talking about for the last like week and a half is Destiny 2, because I spent like years playing it and then I quit for a year. And now I'm back, and it's taken my life over, and I have a freaking problem.
You're taking it intravenously. Like, come on, give it to me, people. Both barrels. Come on.
Legitimately, a big problem. and that problem is that's all I want to do at the moment. And I know people like Carrot in my chat will always be like, hey, why don't you play some Destiny? It's a little bit of these ones, like a bit of like, hey, play some Destiny, shippy. Like, you know, because that's all I'm doing at the moment. But at the same time, it's like you should be able to, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I get lost in like, oh shit, what do I do tonight? And will my chat like it? Mm-hmm. And if I ask them and they say nothing, what do I do then? Because
there's
I've done
something
that.
simple about being a streamer that only plays one game. Like, I tried for a while, because when I started watching streaming, like, I'm big into Mario. I love Mario. So I watched a lot of Super Mario Maker. And to a lesser extent, there's like some custom games they call Super Mario World ROM hacks as well. And I thought, you know what, I can get into this. And there's plenty of stuff to do in Mario Maker, so I'll do that. And that lasted about a month, and I got so bored of that game. But it does take away the what am I going to play tonight question, because you're always playing the same thing.
Yeah, and like that was me with Minecraft. Like I loved Minecraft. We did like a hardcore series that lasted ages until my chat killed me. like because we used Dixper for it in the end, and it was bad. But yeah, essentially we ran a massive series on that, and it would really define my channel for the longest time. And I could still play it right now. I could play it today and still have a good experience. But it felt like the more I played it, the more the chat kind of stopped talking. And we got to a point where, like, now even one of the reasons why I actually took a small break this week was because I feel like whenever I'm streaming now, everyone's just vibing. And I live off of that interaction, even if there's 100 people in the chat. Like, there's 90 people in there, and maybe 3 of them are talking or 4 of them are talking. It's like, oh, man, but I just want that screen to roll so that I can go back and forth with you and talk, you know what I mean? Like, and I know, fucking medium-sized streamer problems, right? I know, my situation is not the same as everyone else's, but that doesn't mean it's not valid, like, it doesn't mean it's not important. I don't want to feel that way neither. In general, I get really worried about what I'm playing. Like, if I always have, though. If I get in and I'm like, all right, guys, community night, Jackbox, and then I get like one response, it's back to the rain. Yeah. I go back to the rain, I go.
It is an important thing to realize, though, that people, like, no matter what phase of life that you're in or what situation of life you're in, you're never worry-free. There's always something that goes on. For instance, I know Stormy's a bit itching to get out here because she's got her own stream tonight. So I think...
I didn't want to be rude.
No.
I can smell my dinner outside, and I got to quickly scoff it down before I start. And I didn't want to be like, didn't want to have that awful streamer etiquette, being like, oh, I gotta go off to whatever. I wasn't gonna do that, but
no.
Hang on, just in chat. See you later. Just going to stream. Yeah.
Oh no.
Also, don't forget to link it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Just before I go though, I think I guess after I leave, there was a question that That's So Pro, I think Shippy was going to answer about the best way business can get in touch with streamers or content creators and stuff. I don't know if you want to quickly touch on that, but because I've actually kind of been working with That's So Pro on a cool, fun thing. Ooh. And I know that they're probably interested to know, I guess, from the, like, if you flip the coin on the other side, what's the best way to go about it. But I do have to duck and go. I'm sorry to run. But it was really nice chatting with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go have dinner.
So. We'll see if we can last out another 20 minutes, half an hour, and throw your raid at the end.
Oh, not obliged to, but either way, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for joining.
Thank you very much.
See you guys. See you, chat.
Bye. Now we have to change the whole screen again, don't we? God damn it.
That's all right. We can do that. Let's.
Oh yeah, I love that space in the middle. That's fantastic.
I know. It looks so good. I love the vacantness of it.
Right, now that she's gone, we're going to talk so much smack. All right, who wants to go first?
Bloody Storm.
Someone in the chat.
I don't know, Jesus. But no, it's going back to the question about from That Was Pro. I think like we did have a little bit of a chat about it. Why is this not coming? I'm trying to do two things at once, and of course my simple brain cannot handle that. But that's okay. We're there. I'm done now. There we go. Look at that. Not so much.
That seems about right.
Yeah. So, like, it depends on the product, I guess, that you're selling. Because I think there's a difference from being a big company and that lots of people know. It's different being a Logitech or Elgato, where people know your products, and being streamers, you could do with a keyboard, you could do with a mouse, you could do with some stream lights and that sort of thing. So it's when it's a new product, because I like, he didn't say too much about what it was, just that it was a tool for streamers. So it's without knowing what the product is, it's a little harder to talk to, but I think, and especially when it's a small unknown thing, like you have to pick and choose the people that you're going to approach fairly carefully. And like this is where, like, we don't like doing it, but this is where your friends come into it. Like if you've got streamer friends, you go to them and you say, I'm working on this. Does this sound useful? And I don't know where you are in the development cycle, but you look at stuff like I'm sort of beta testing it, get some people to try it, see what it's like, and if you want streamers to use it, like that's once again, without knowing the product, it's hard to say, because if it's a product you're selling, then people can try it and find out. But if it's a tool that integrates with Twitch somehow to, I don't know, mess with your game or something like crowd control or something like that, you know, then that's harder, because it's not something that you can sell. And if you're developing it yourself, then you also don't have the money to go, here's $500, go and, you know, display, have fun. But it's a hard question to answer specifically for your setup without knowing what the product is.
Yeah, and look, that's absolutely true as well. Although that being said, I think a blanket rule of kind of taking what I've said to heart would be a good start. You know, like taking the idea of not treating a streamer like a tool, and rather treating them like the stone that you are actually molding. You know what I mean? Like they're not the hammer that you're and the hammer and chisel that you're using to make the statue, and they're the rock that you should be trying to mold. Like, you need to be creating a positive environment that they can grow in. So if you're a big company, even if you're a small company and you're developing a tool, put them front and center. Put them at the front of it. Put them at the front of it all the time. All the time. Anytime they mention it. Get them in for interviews. Get them on the Twitter. Put them on the websites. Put them everywhere you can possibly do, and use them, because they are your voice. You have no voice as a company. Even if you have a spokesperson, unless you're like the Wendy's guy, who's the best person on the internet, you don't have a voice. So get someone to do that. Someone with a sexy, very buttery voice to do so. If you get someone like that to do it, I mean, it will just sell. It'll just be like hot cakes. Consider me. But no, you need to get
just
that.
Turn the temperature up in here. Oh.
Right. It's very nice in here. But no, you need to really invest in the people that invest in you, and whether that is by full on media campaigning them, or whether it's by, hey, you're worth a few $100 a month to me right now, so let's do that, and then as you grow, so shall the money. That's honestly, to me, a really good way to approach it. You can't treat them like numbers. You can't treat them like, hello there, Mr. 5,400. How are you today? How's your day going? Oh, yes. Oh, hello there, Miss 900. How are you? Oh, no, sorry, Mr. 5,000 was talking. Please shut up. Like you can't base someone's worth on how many followers they have or how much viewership they have, because in a heartbeat that can change. And you can go from someone who has, like, when I started, I was really lucky. I think my first stream I had like an 8 average, and then almost immediately it was in the 20s, and then almost immediately it was in the 40s, and then again, same deal, all the way up to where we are now. So I've been very lucky in that sense. Mine is not the ruler for which you should measure yourself, because my ruler is broken, and I measure everything with it, and it's broken. Don't do that. It's bad hygiene to do that. What I would say is that if you're going to, if you're a business and you're trying to push streamers into a way that allows you to sell the product, you need to be treating the one who has 1 million followers the same or close enough to the same as someone who has 1,000. Because they're still selling your product, and they're still shilling it. They might use it more. How many times do you see someone like PewDiePie get like a brand new computer, and then he uses it once or twice, and then you never hear about it again? Whereas if you gave that same computer to someone with 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, it would be front and center, in front of their face, probably on their videos, because they would invest in it, they would care about it more, and they would be shilling it way, way more as well. So, yeah, that is my advice.
Yeah, and get the PC thing's an interesting thing because they're such big ticket items, and you know, I was today actually yesterday I was buying the parts to build a PC for Dad. So this is a computer that's not going to be super much, but ended up spending like $1,400 on it, and it's nothing special, but it's still a big ticket item, and most people, what they do on PCs, they have no idea about what the middle of them are. Like, I can tell you I've got an RTX 2060 in mine with an M.2 hard drive in it and all this other shit, but most people just... Yeah, exactly. You fall asleep. You pass out. Who wants to know all the stats of my computer? I don't... Like, mine's got the freaking glass on it. I don't want to put lights in there. That just sounds boring to me. I don't... Yeah, but it's... People... For most people, one PC is very much like another. Unless you're a network architect or a computer engineer. Mm-hmm. Like it's even like putting my tech hat on for a minute here because I'm an IT guy by trade. Like
I'm gonna fall asleep again.
Yeah, that's it. Well, but the new M.2 drives that have come out, they're faster speeds than your normal solid state drives. But for most people, the difference in how fast they access, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. In fact, for most people, the probably the biggest thing about M.2 drives is that they're smaller, so they take up less room in your computer, and it just
and it's true.
Yeah, and most people don't care about that. So like you throw a computer at someone, the only thing throwing a computer at someone matters is that it's a half decent one. That can do stuff for you. That's really it. As long as it works, it's like a phone. I pick up, I make a call, or you might text and internet and all that other crap on it these days as well. But you know, you pick up and make a phone call, and as long as the phone does that, who cares?
Yeah, and look, honestly, I'll do this right now. These are just words. I couldn't tell you if what I just posted in the chat is a good thing. Because I don't know, because I don't care, because it turns on and it works. And this is my job. Like, this is my job that lets me feed my family, and I cannot care. I cannot find a way to look at that.
Well, like, I look at that and go, 32 gig of RAM, that's a decent amount of RAM. And an RTX 2080, that's, you know, it's a generation old now, but you can't get hold of a 30 series card for love nor money at the moment. But
not spending $4,000 on a computer card.
Fuck no. Like when I bought my 2060 a couple of years ago, and I think it was close to $1,000 then, and it's been through a couple of computers because like my video, it's still a freaking good video card. Well, I'm not getting rid of that. But yeah, the rest of it, even me as a tech guy, I look at it and go, Corsair Hydro series. I've got no idea what that is. I know what an Intel i7 chip is, but I've got no idea what generation that is because I only know that they're up to Gen 12 on Intel chips now because of the research I was doing to buy my old man's computer. Like, and here's the thing: as a streamer, you don't need to know that. You don't need to know the difference between AMD architecture and an Intel architecture on a chip.
Oh, I kind of do though. That's the only thing I kind of know. That's cool.
Yeah, but for the general layperson, I turn it on and it works. That's all you need. Yeah. That's all.
Honestly, it really is. Like, especially for when the day comes. I'm not saying if. When the day comes that I get approached by someone who isn't stupid builds, like when I get an assholey. Wait, is there a way to say asshole but mean artesian? That place. Like, I get approached by a place that isn't ass builds. And they actually say, hey, you know, you're pretty handsome, Shippy. You're pretty sexy. How would you like a computer? I will legitimately copy and paste that into the chat and say, please just make it better than this. Because that's all I know. Like, you know, like legitimately, no, none of it doesn't interest me. Like, there's nothing in it that makes me go, oh yeah. Yes, I just want to look at those numbers all day long. Yeah. Like there isn't at all. And as someone who used to work in tech support from a software point of view, hardware is the furthest thing from my brain.
But even as a software guy, you look at it and you'd go, does it meet our specs? Mm-hmm. Yes, it does. Yep. Great. No, it doesn't. Well, your computer's fucked. Go away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. And that's it. That is honestly it.
And let me tell you, I'm IT support by trade, desktop support. I go out and try and fix things, and if I can't, then I slap people around the head until they go, "This is not the way you do it."
Yeah.
And we barely deal with hardware. Like it's the only thing that we generally do with hardware is we've got computers old enough around the place that they're still running on spinning mechanical drives, and they're slow. They make the computers run slow. So we go and put it in a solid state drive instead. And yeah, that's about the only thing tech wise that I do. I mean, hardware wise that I do for my day job.
Yeah, and look, honestly, when I was working in software, all 90% of the hardware queries were me making sure they hadn't kicked the power plug out. Yeah. Because and anything more, that's what knowledge base is for. That's what KB is for. Yeah. You read the thing and then you do the thing, and the second it is done, it is out of my head. I have forgotten everything that was written on the page, because it just doesn't. It's not interesting. So
you remember those memes that came out a while back? There were those 6 panels about what the world thinks I do, what Mum thinks I do, what I think I do, and what I actually do. Like the one for IT that says what I actually do with Google. That is scarily accurate. The amount of time that I spend Googling stuff is crazy.
Yeah, no, honestly, and even to the point of it being not even Google, but your in-house knowledge-based stuff, and then even outside of that, it actually just being Google, and it's crazy how often you'll do that with almost everything, even with streaming stuff. It's the same deal. Like nobody who I know, with exception to my my technomancer, his name is Tio, and he is my my computer, my streaming guy, wizard guy. Yeah, legitimately. He's he does all my Firebot sort of work. He wrote a bunch of articles for us to go through with Firebot. But for him, even with him, I'll say, "How do you do this?" And he'll say, "I don't know," because nobody actually knows how to use OBS. That's the secret that no one is willing to say. No one actually knows how to do it.
Mate, we need to have a good chat about because it didn't end up getting released, but Reflex and myself worked on a presentation for Goa subscribers when we were still doing that on the ins and outs of OBS, and it was originally just going to be one hour thing, but by the time Reflex had gotten through explaining what all the different options were, that was an hour, and it was just well, we haven't even gotten to setting up scenes yet, but we can do that another time. So look, there is a meaning to all the tech stuff, but when you're talking about tech stuff for the modern day streamer, search those YouTube guides, because somebody else has already gone and done the work. Someone else has gone there and said, this is the settings, the best settings to use for a computer that's not so good. This is the best settings to use for one that's a bit better. You got a streaming PC that's just doing the streaming. Here's some good settings. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't make it hard for yourself. I will say, it's on its last legs, and I really need to start looking at maybe getting something else. Maybe when chip prices come down a little bit. But having a streaming PC is brilliant. I've gone from being someone that couldn't stream PC games because my computer couldn't handle doing both at the same time, and mainly being a console person, to the games that I play are pretty much almost exclusively PC now, especially with Games Pass on PC.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier, honestly. I used to be a full console boy. I don't have a next-gen console at all, but my PC can do everything that they can do at this point. So, and it's only because, you can't get them, because I'm pretty sure, just like the Tom Cardy Christmas song, I'm pretty sure they only made 10 PlayStation 5s for the entire world last Christmas. My precious. I know. This is why I don't have your address.
Well, you want to know the funny thing about it? I have not turned that on for months, because everything that I play on there is on Games Pass, and it's on PC.
Yeah. I mean, I just want it to have it so that I can have it, because I've always had one. I've always had pretty much every iteration of the PlayStation, except for the one that I was too young for. I've pretty much always had them almost close to release. But if not, then within sort of 6 months. But it's been more than 6 months now, so I'm starting to feel the itch where I just want it.
Yeah. And I'd love to have a PlayStation 5 as well, because whereas Xbox has that overlap between PC, or not even just PC and Xbox Series X, but also Xbox One and the cloud gaming that you can have. Whereas Sony have got the different business model and they're not going that way. And I'd love to have a PS5. I want to play the Spider-Man games. I want to play God of War. I want to play Horizon Forbidden West and Zero Dawn. But I want to not have to spend $115 to play Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah. No, exactly, and for it to be a shit port as well. Like, by all accounts, apparently it's not a very good port at all. But yeah, no, exclusivity was going away, but I think now that they're starting to buy up different brands and different IPs, it's probably going to come back. Well, we were at a point where it was almost gone.
Well, no, I don't believe that, because it's never going to be gone, because that's how Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo make their money. I forgot Nintendo. Sorry, Nintendo will always be. Nintendo will always be Nintendo doing Nintendo things. They live in their own little bubble.
They have every right to, though. You can't stop them. What are you going to do? Say no?
That's right. Yeah, so you can't play Pokemon and Mario, and they've earned that reputation. I have a love-hate relationship with Nintendo, but 90% of the games that they release are chef's kiss. Yeah.
It's like, sorry, you don't want to buy a Switch. Well, enjoy playing Mario, you dickhead, because you're not going to be able to, because it doesn't exist for you. And that is, they have every right to control the market that way. I more so meant PlayStation and Xbox, that rivalry. We'd got to a point in, for example, again, I'm going to say it, Destiny, where originally in the first game there was a time-gated 1 year release for a specific, a few exotics or weapons, right? So you couldn't get those weapons at all for a year on Xbox minimum. And then it would over like this, and all of a sudden you would get it. That went away, and we were really moving towards a point where Xbox and PlayStation were getting almost all the same releases. There were a couple of offshoots, like your Halo and your God of War. But realistically speaking, it was kind of in a steady flux of not really too many. And then the ones that weren't getting picked up by the other company were moving to Steam anyway as a third alternative, like a handshake between the two.
And the advent of crossplay has meant a lot as well, I feel. The opening up of that has made things a lot easier, but there'll always be the exclusives. There's always, I'm trying to think of some now. I'm trying to think of Microsoft exclusives, but the only one that's coming to mind at the moment is Halo. I think Starfield's going to be exclusive now because that's a Bethesda one. But even PlayStation 4 for Sony, all the Spider-Man games are exclusive to PlayStation. All the God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Last of Us. Sony had so much more exclusives, because Microsoft, that was one of the biggest complaints about the Xbox One, was that they didn't have enough to make buying the Xbox worth it. And Sony had all these absolutely brilliant, I bought an Xbox One and I enjoyed it, but I will fully say that PlayStation 4 beat it out, because it had so much more to offer.
Destroy it.
Yeah.
It was close to Xbox being like, are they going to even release another console? It felt like that for a little while, like it did, because it was such a stark difference between the two.
Oh, they had such a disastrous launch as well. But I think we need to relate this. I'm going to find a way to segue this back to talking about streaming somehow, because we just to bring it back, because I like this conversation. I really do, and I could talk about it for a long time. But no, I can't do it. Let's just start talking about streaming again.
So realistically speaking, I guess that the way that we can tie it back is that we can say that, in fact, what I'll do is I'll ask, there we go. Okay, roll the footage. Okay, there we go. That's a good question, I think, actually. Would you rather... but no, that's a good way to segue out of the game side of things, I think.
What were they saying? Because unfortunately we couldn't hear that.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, okay. So what they were saying was, would you rather have unlimited bacon but no games, or unlimited games but no games?
Unlimited games but no games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yep. So unlimited bacon, but no games.
But no games. Yep.
Unlimited games, but no games.
So unlimited
games, no bacon.
Unlimited games, all the games, every game, unlimited games, but no games. Or unlimited bacon, but no games.
Well, I got to say, for me, I would choose the unlimited games because while I like bacon, I could do without it.
Yep. That is the right answer, honestly. The unlimited games, but no games, because you don't want unlimited bacon. That's gross. It smells. I'd rather have nothing.
I do like bacon, though. Like, mate, I tell you what, one of my favourite foods ever is crispy bacon in a pancake. Not on a pancake, but like you partially cook the batter and then like put the bacon in the pancake. It is so good. I love it.
My chat have come in anger because I do this frequently. Because it is an answer that has no answer. A question that has no answer at all. That one and the other one, which nearly destroyed my community, which was the who would win between the original 151 Pokemon or 1 billion lions. Now, it's only one of each of the original 151 Pokemon who have the same stamina and requirements that they do in game, but 1 billion lions.
But Mew's one of those, so you know.
Yes, but obviously at some point Mew has to stop, right?
Well, then there's like all the other psychic Pokemon.
Yeah, but they all have to have a rest at one point or another. Even if you can kill 1 million each, but there's 1 billion lions. It's
the 151 Pokemon, damn it. Just freaking the Charizard will come flying in even though he's not dragon type, he's a fire type, and he will freaking rain death down on those lions. He'll set the savannah all on fire and those lions won't know what hit them.
And this is a perfect example of things you do to your community if you're a streamer, is you give them engaging questions like this one right here, which I have tormented my chat with for a while, to the point where we actually have different teams assigned in my chat, whether you're Team Lion or Team Pokemon.
Hashtag hashtag Team Pokemon.
Too late
now. No, I'm taking it back, damn it. Taking it back.
But yeah, no, like this is a good way for us to segue out of that. So having a good care for your community, making sure that you're like I was saying before, it's very important to understand that whilst we rely on them for everything to keep us safe, whether it's comfort or finances or just having someone to talk to on a day that you need it, we get a lot of things from them. It's important to understand is that they also get a lot from us. So they get a place to be, of a weeknight maybe, or a weekday, or a morning. Maybe I'm the first thing you listen to in the morning. Maybe I'm the last thing before you go to sleep. So as much as streamers obviously should love and respect what they get from their community, you also have to understand is that it's not a one-way street. They're not just there and that's it. They're getting something from you too. So you don't need to feel so bad all the time because you're asking them to maybe support a brand that you might be interested in, or to a cause that you might feel, it's very important to understand is that they are there for a reason too, and they are getting just as much out of the stream. And if they feel it is good enough to give financial help to, then all the better, because they respect it enough, they care about it enough, and they care about you enough that they want to pay for that service. So, yeah, I think that one major thing that we didn't say before when Stormy was about is just saying that you, as much as as much as you give them, they get you from you. You give it back. So you've got to understand that you are not on a even playing field, but at the same time, you have to have a mutual understanding of that situation. Because if you don't have that and you spend all your time like, man, these people, they give me everything, and what am I doing? I'm just a dickhead who asks about 1,000 lions all the time. You know, like when you get to that point, it puts you into the spot where you might as well just, you know, just play games and not talk. You know, you might as well just stop interacting with them from a community mindset or a just chatting kind of environment and just be someone who is a person on the television. We offer an interactive experience. So we offer a chance to speak to and from, you know, back and forth. It's like watching your favorite TV show, except the TV show talks back. That in itself is unique entertainment. And if people want to pay for it, then it's because you're worth it. And yeah, that's a good note to kind of wrap it up on, I think, as far as that discussion goes.
I was also just thinking that that's a good note to finish tonight on. We've had a good chat. I think we covered a lot with the affiliate and versus sponsorships, and having Stormy in to talk about her experiences there and your experiences with that too, and all the other stuff we talked about tonight. So I thank you for joining us. Thank you, Stormy, for joining us as well. Thank you, everybody in chat. It's been amazing to have you here. But I think we got one more thing. Well, you've got one more thing to say, I think, before we sign off for tonight.
I do.
Well, yeah, don't you normally have a sign off?
Oh, yeah.
We're well
we
oiled
do,
here, people. We're good.
We do have that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, we don't really, there's no real way for us to get like direct feedback on what we do other than when it comes to like, you know, our Discords. Why is the audio coming through? Okay, there. As far as like Discords go or your social media, we don't have a lot of places, but one place we do have is the Goa Discord. I don't know what the link there is for it, but maybe we should put that in there.
Nightbot has literally just put it in there for us.
Thank you, Nightbot. Thank you so much. But yeah, that's one place that you can provide feedback on what we're doing. You can also hit us up on our respective social media. Mine, for example, you'll find everywhere as The Warship, except for Twitter, where it is still _Warship.
Bloody
because
Twitter.
They hate me, and Twitter, they hate me so much. And Jim, yours?
You can find me everywhere as Straight Jacket Jim, as it is spelled. Just right down there. Everywhere.
Just right. Super easy. That was the quickest one we've done before in the history of what we've done here. It's very much so the quickest one we've ever done. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I really, really do. And from me, The Warship, from Jim over here, the old Straight Jacket Jim, I'm a Streamaholic. He's a Streamaholic. And now you're all Streamaholics. Please stick around for the raid and have a great night.
Hey, thanks for watching the show. Have you clicked the subscribe button yet? Have you given us a thumbs up and maybe commented on the video too? Have you done that yet? Have you done it? Oh, cheers. Thanks.